Welcome to Speed Round Sunday on the Parenting Roundabout podcast, where we share a mini episode from our past for your weekend listening pleasure. We'll be back tomorrow with a brand new episode.
We thought for our speed round we would talk about what are some of our kids' qualities that we wish we had. And honestly, dealing with disappointment or not getting hopes way up is something that I admire in my kids. I don't really know if they are not disappointed and not getting their hopes up or if they just can't communicate it. But either way, they do often seem way more zen than me. So
Zen. I like that.
I wish I had that quality, but no. And I don't know how real it is because my daughter does have problems with anxiety. So it may be like with your daughter that she just holds it in and then until it's to a point where and that's not a good quality. I have, as older I get, have been, more of the just spill it immediately variety, which is not good either. But my kids generally seem to take things. I think that my daughter especially is getting into a point in her life where she deals with things right away. If something bothers her, she is proactive about either complaining about it or telling the person she's not happy about it. And that's admirable.
Great.
I can't do that.
Good.
I can't do that. We had something recently where somebody who I've always just followed a policy of non-engagement with. And she said something that made my daughter mad, and my daughter told her so, and she backed down. And I'm like,
that worked.
I would never do that. When she stood up to her, I thought, don't do that. Are you crazy? So that is an excellent quality. I admire. I see that coming along more and more as she gets more mature. How about you, Catherine? What qualities would you say you admire in your kids?
Well, my son, first of all, has a really good memory. Like, not so much for like multiplication tables, but just for things that he's seen or done or read or whatever. He can just remember, and it always impresses me when he does. I mean, the first time, I still remember when he was like 2 or 3, and he started talking about eating popcorn at the city pool, and it was like months and months after it had happened, and he was so little. I'm like, how do you know that? So that, and just also his like goofiness that he still has because he's a little kid. Like the other day when we went to pick him up after school, and he was wearing a banana costume, like just standing outside of the school, dressed as a banana. So sure,
as one does.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I have to mention that my son also has phenomenal memory, very specific, but like he can. I think I might have mentioned my husband keeps a list of everything we've had for dinner for like the past 7 years, 10 years maybe, and my son can remember things. So when did we have this last? And he'll say we had it this month, and we'll look back, and he's right. So that's phenomenal. And he also can remember what kind of cars people have and like how much mileage they have on them and when they're due to be inspected and stuff like that. That's like, there should be some place to use that skill. Right. There should be some job that would benefit from that, but we have not yet found it.
Not an auto mechanic, customer service?
He's not interested in that part of a car. He's he remembers what kind of car it is, what make, what model. Oftentimes license plate numbers.
Wow.
Yeah. You need like a family
but
business
phenomenal
that's
memory.
a garage, and he would be able to be like, it's time to call up the Joneses because their car needs something.
And he would remember when they were in last.
That's right.
What car they had, how many miles were on it then.
Yeah. He needs a job like that.
I should rent him out to mechanics, like to be their reminder person.
Yeah.
There's got to be a niche.
Well,
how about you, Nicole? What qualities do you admire in your kids?
My son is hilarious. I love him. He just cracks me up. He's got such a wicked sense of humor and just easygoing and personable, which I really admire, but at the same time, very emotional. So that's kind of, okay, we're not talking bad things, we're talking good things.
Oftentimes they go hand in hand, sadly.
Yes, he's got a very kind heart.
Oh.
And yeah, he's very funny. He does the best Napoleon Dynamite impression I've ever seen. Makes us laugh every time. And my daughter is she has nerves of steel. Like I don't know, she can deal with a lot. Well, not in a bad way, but she just can turn things off and on and categorize it, like her feelings, and she sees other perspectives, and she's a really good problem solver. She's excellent at solving problems.
That's great.
So she's did I ever tell you the time when she was 2 and I was trying to bring the water bottles in from outside?
No, I don't think so.
Did I ever tell you that story? Oh, okay, I'll quickly tell you a story then. So she was 2 and just, baby toddler, and we used to get our water delivered in big jugs, for a water cooler. And they were outside the door. There was like 4 of them, and I just hated bringing them in and putting them in the garage. And it was just always a big chore to do. And they were heavy and whatever. So I was complaining about it out loud one day. Probably to my husband or somebody. And no, because he wasn't home, because he would have done it. That's right. He was probably traveling somewhere. So I was complaining about having to bring these water bottles in, because they were so heavy to carry. And my daughter, who's 2, says, "Mom, why don't you just tip them over and roll them in?"
Oh.
Wow.
So I was like, hey, that's kind of smart. I never would have thought of that. So she's really good about coming up with little strategies for
Yeah.
life hacks.
There you go.